Which brings us to our point. We can't have nice things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody is tough on their equipment in some parts, and you and I have both had our close calls / past close calls experiences with power equipment. Me on a tractor, you on a dirt bike. But we were basically kind of putting along there on the east side of this road, and there were some washouts and stuff. And again, nobody had been on it for a long time, and we come up to a point where
You were driving, right?
yes. Well,
There it is. Long story short, yeah, we flipped the thing.
Yes, and flip is a hard word.
Rolled.
I'd like to say lay on the side.
Laid on the side. Yeah, it did not make it all the way around. Just flipped it.
Yeah, it was slow enough that for some reason I thought I could put my foot down and stop us. That didn't happen. Didn't work. Yeah. Can't have nice things. Maiden voyage on this
machine
thing.
laying on its side.
Yeah, we had better days at this point. It was cold too, man. That temperature had started to plummet.
See the empty bed that was completely full of like all of our chainsaw equipment,
Chainsaws,
everything we needed to
corn,
get up.
cameras.
Corn, exactly.
At one point in time, so the fortunate and unfortunate thing about this incident here is I'd placed the winch remote in the glove box, and in the process of flipping or rolling or laying on the side, that remote got tossed into the snow.
Along with my phone, and
I wasn't worried about your phone.
We had a few other things.
I was more worried about the winch at that point.
That's what I looked for first. I was like, I gotta make sure if I gotta call somebody, because you were stuck. Like first things first.
Well, yeah, I mean, I tried to put my foot down to stop us because it literally was a slow motion. And so let me back up for a second. As we're kind of going along there, we're just looking at terrain. There's this. It looks perfectly clear.
I was looking at terrain.
Snow.
I hope you were looking at the road.
Apparently not.
I was riding next to you. I was looking at the ridge. And that's how I described it. It was like next thing I knew, we were going this way and I was falling on top of it.
I was looking at the trail and it looked just clear snow the whole way. Well, what happened was with that 3 or 4 inches of snow is one side just right in the middle of the road.
Go back to the one where you can see the road.
It literally dropped 3 feet. Split right in the middle of the road.
So this is the side of the road here, and that side is completely washed
So when you're looking at this thing completely clear and snow covered, it looked uniform straight across. Yeah. Well, as soon as we got there, that front wheel went down, and that was it. We went over, and so it starts to lean, and I went to put my foot down to stop us, and the machine laid on my foot. Of which you had to use your mommy adrenaline to lift it off.
Mama bear strength. I was like, what?
Yeah.
I've been in I was an EMT too, so like I'm good in like
I didn't need
high
CPR.
anxiety situations. I was just like, I was like, are you okay? You're like, my foot's caught. The machine was still running. I think at that point gas was like pouring out, and so I heaved it up real quick. We got your foot out. Made sure it was okay. Fortunately, it was just
it wasn't broken.
Tucked under there a little bit, and we started collecting ourselves. We shut the machine off.
Yeah, it was really what happened at that point.
We had a little 2.5 gallon gas tank for the saws in the back, and we were standing there just like collecting ourselves, and I heard gunk, 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 gunk. And fortunately it was that and not the machine.
Not the machine.
So we got that pulled out. We grabbed all the saw stuff. It's actually, you can see it just in the bottom of the picture here.
Yeah, that's after we moved it out.
Pulled everything out, got it all collected. That glove box popped open, which you said had the winch remote, my phone, some other stuff in it, which we found all, scattered
somewhere
in
in the
snow,
right in and around.
But,
so then became the challenge of, okay, well, now we're like 2 miles back in here. We could easily walk out.
Yeah, far back in.
But like, what are we going to do with this machine? How are we going to get this thing over? So that's where the winch came in. Yeah. Right? And so power of minds, how do we strategically move this machine and then lift this machine up? And given, if you've ever been around a machine, you're not lifting it up. You're not flipping.
We tried. I was like, how heavy is this thing?
Yeah. It's heavy.
What do you think? It's probably 1,500 pounds.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe 2,000. I don't know.
Yeah.
So we ended up actually tying it off on that tree.
To the left.
Yep.
So you can see here it's pretty close to this washout, and we wanted to try to get away from it a little bit.
And that washout is deep. I mean, you're looking at that and you're like, oh, okay, it's like a little lip. No, it's like 3 feet. That's a 3-foot drop straight through the middle there.
Yeah.
And so when that front wheel went off, it was over. At that point, we were already leaning that way hard.
So that's what we did. Is the winch is on the front, and we did find the remote. Fortunately, we were kind of scrambling, looking for that for a little while. But we hooked it to the tree on the left and kind of just drug it on its side, maybe foot and a half, so that we had a little better angle on it. And then we actually ran it up and over the front of the machine and out and around the top of the frame, and then way over to a
Use a corn bag as a buffer
here.
so we didn't damage the machine.
Yeah, we're trying to protect the machine as we were doing it, and then pretty simply just
popped it right up over.
Popped right back over.
What's the next picture, Ian?
That's all of them.
There should be one more once we got our foot back over.
Oh yeah, here we go.
Hey.
How'd you get out?
What's that?
How did Jared get out?
Well, he was laying on top of me.
I don't actually remember. I kind of just fell out of the machine, like on top of you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. We weren't wearing seatbelts because we were hopping out every 10 yards.
We were going 2 miles an hour.
We're going super slow, and we're hopping out all the time to saw stuff, and so
Yeah. Yeah. So
and we're just crawling too.
Yeah, and at that point you can kind of see like now the machine's down in this ditch. You could see like that is the middle of the trail is where that drop off is, that washout is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it could have been a lot worse. I mean, I've flipped a tractor before, spent a week in the ICU. Jared's taken a dirt bike into a bulldozer, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we're not, we've had our incidents.
Yeah, I've been way closer to death than this, but
yeah.
This,
it was a quick gut check reminder.
Could have been way worse.
Yeah.
Well, and we found out when we circled back and around and we're getting out, there were some pretty treacherous places, and it could have been a lot worse than this. Where if you go over the edge, I mean, you're not stopping until you're at the bottom.
Yeah, which is way down there. So, So yeah, I mean, most people may have said, "Hey, let's wrap it up after this." We said
we considered it. We're like, dude,
yeah,
let's.
What time is it? Oh, okay. Yeah, let's keep going.
We were so close at that point though to we were just trying to get out and around this ridge to get another corn.
We
pile
wanted
out
to
with
get
some
everything
camera.
on the south side completed in day one so that we could spend more time on the north side of the property the next morning. That was the plan. We didn't really want to have to leave and come back onto this side.
That's right. This was day one.
Yeah. The other thing is I didn't really necessarily feel like I wanted to drive that machine the whole way back up in there to get back to this point.
Take me